pornography work to destroy God's holy design for sexual relations? Well, in short, it distorts the image of God in sexuality. It creates impure motivations for expressing our sexual urges. It tempts the heart to go after the forbidden, private areas of another's body, areas meant only for the pleasure of their spouse. It blocks off true intimacy, which is the intended foundation for sexual expression, by sending the mind and heart into a netherworld of self-centered lust and perversion. You see, when a person looks at pornography, they become inflamed with the lust for the person in the picture, a person who happens to be real, with a real mom and dad, a real life, and who has been created in the image of God. They've crossed that first boundary forbidden by God in Matthew 5, lusting after someone in their heart. In God's eyes, they are committing adultery or some other sin with that person. What makes such temptations even more compelling is that when we cross that first line of sin, by virtue of that act of rebellion against God, we give Satan the right to ensnare us, to throw us into bondage to lust. We empower him and give him permission to build a stronghold in us. Another thing that may contribute to my bondage is insecurity, a fear of the sort of people represented in the pornographic images. If I am afraid of rejection by a certain kind of person, then it may seem safer for me to lust after their image in a photo rather than in person. This would be especially true if it were the kind of person who I would have no hope of having in real life. You see, the photo will not reject me, will not humiliate me, will always smile at me and think I'm sexually wonderful and masterful. The picture allows me to weave a fantasy and to generate pleasure with that fantasy that I am convinced I could never have with the actual person. The focus is me and what will give me the most pleasure. And I am using the person in that picture to serve my selfish needs. I need to grow up. I need to discipline myself to go to God to quench my fears of other people, rather than seeking false intimacy through idolatrous pseudo-relationships. I need to renounce my selfishness, my subservience to fear, my dismissive attitudes toward those whose lives are being destroyed in the porn industry. I need to seek forgiveness for having turned real people into idols for my own pleasure. I need to learn how to pull down idols of lust by using my authority in Christ if I'm a Christian. I need to engage God's power to destroy such strongholds, to implore Him to replace those idols with healthy concepts of sexuality, to receive a healthy perspective of men and women, to see them as God sees them, made in His image. I need to ask God to give me His eyes and His mind to recreate in me a healthy sexuality.